Even King Cobra is afraid of this snake killer. Hello lovely YouTube family, welcome back to Reality Binge. In today's videos we are going to talk about even King Cobra is afraid of this snake killer. Before we start, I would want you to hit that red subscribe button so that you never miss out on any of our videos. This snake slayer is so terrifying that even the King Cobra is scared of him. This creature not only annoys the King Cobra, but it also converts it into a meal and survives its poisonous bite. They aren't popular. The majority of mongoose species are found in Africa, although others are found in Asia or Europe, and mongooses are not accepted in some parts of the world. Because of the mongoose's voracious appetite, this is the case. It doesn't take many of these hungry creatures to entirely disrupt a habitat's biological equilibrium. In New Zealand, for example, all mongoose species are prohibited, with the exception of the suricata. The meerkat suricata is a banned new creature under the 1996 Hazardous Substances and New Organisms Act in New Zealand. As a result, no mongooses may be imported into the nation. Although mongooses are also prohibited in the United States due to their destructive behavior, they were first brought to Hawaii and Puerto Rico at the end of the 19th century to control rats on sugar fields, but the experiment failed. A mongoose hunts throughout the day, whereas rats emerge at night. Instead, they ate local reptiles and birds as well as their eggs, leading numerous species to become extinct. Snakes were also eaten in Puerto Rico, a solution that became a problem. He has the appearance of a weasel, yet he isn't one. He has the appearance of a marten as well, although he is not one. It's a mongoose here. Mongooses come in more than 30 different species. One of the most well-known species is the meerkat, which is also a member of the mongoose family. For millennia, the mongoose has been a tiny cat-like animal with a slender physique and a lot of activity. Because of its capacity to evade death, the mongoose has been revered and even considered as a unique species. Mongooses were holy to the deity Ningalin, who was joined with Sangorima, a god of sorcery who was invoked for protection against snakes after being bitten by a poisonous snake in ancient Mesopotamia, according to historian Odorusiculus. Egyptians revere mongooses to protect themselves from poisonous snakes and eat crocodile eggs on occasion. Japan introduced 30 mongooses in 1979 to manage the growth of a deadly pit viper, the habu snake, because of its ancient reputation as a snake exterminator. On Amami Oshima Island in southern Japan, the viper posed a menace to the local community. Although the mongoose were effective in reducing the habit population, they also ate their indigenous species on the island, including different arthropods and unusual vertebrates, and their numbers are now threatened. Since the year 2000, the Japanese government has been attempting to exterminate the mongoose population. Social animals. Some mongoose species are solitary while others are gregarious. They live in small groups of 6 to 40 people. These family units live, travel, and battle as a unit. They don't stay in one spot for long, and after approximately a week, they move on to another. Some families are large with 50 or more members. An alpha male and a female, who are typically the only two humans who mate and reproduce, can lead these groupings. The other mongooses are employees, each having their own job to do. In other species, when multiple females are pregnant, some are hunters and others stay behind to look after the young and the elderly and fragile members of the group. When 12 women give birth at the same time in a subterranean burrow, the mongoose pups are born on the same day. It's hard to identify whose kid is whose, which is a fortunate thing if you're a young mongoose mother, since it means the group elder females won't murder your children. They don't know which kid belongs to whom this way, and they don't have to worry about murdering their offspring. Friend of the mongoose. In the animal realm, mutual connections between species are quite common. Pollinators, like as bees and butterflies, aid flower reproduction while also offering a pleasant reward, and oxpeckers remove ticks from the rhinos and zebras' skin. Both animals benefit from their partnership. There is a similar connection between common warthogs and striped mongoose. So if you see a warthog buried in a stack of mongooses, it's not because they're attacking him, rather they're picking the blood-filled ticks and other parasites off his fur. Frequently enough, the boar is cleaned and the mongoose is fed a nice feast. The boar will lie down on the ground and raise his legs to allow the 15 to 20 mongooses access to all of the little holes and nooks. The mongooses are unlikely to be eaten by them. Snakes and mongooses are the most natural adversaries of each other after that, because the mongoose must kill the snake in order for the snake not to kill the mongoose, and the snake must kill the mongoose in order for the mongoose not to kill the snake. They must murder each other in order to exist, therefore they despise one another. They fight deliberately. Mongooses that live in colonies do everything together, even battling an opponent. This foe does not have to be a predator. It may be another mongoose family. Families or striped mongooses create war lines when they prepare to fight. The striped mongoose are just about 3 kilos each, yet they can battle for almost an hour. Females are the source of the conflict, according to research done by Michael Kant, a scientist who has been studying the species for 25 years. He observed that one of the bout's goals is to allow the ladies to meet the men of their opponents. This lowers or eliminates the possibility of inbreeding within the group. Scientists believe that females instigate these battles in order to get away from the males in their family groups during the battle's disarray and mayhem. Natural enemies. Predators like snakes, hawks, marabou storks, leopards, and jackals chase the mongoose, which has more foes than friends. Young mongooses are hunted and eaten by marabou storks, who may even devour them whole. The mongoose is very protective of its young, and it will bite and hiss at the 1.5-meter-long stork's ankles. Mongoose are known to be eaten by giant snakes like pythons, but other snakes like cobras and black mambas kill them to protect themselves. Afraid of no one. When it comes to defending themselves, their families, and their territory, mongooses have no fear of anyone. They are unafraid of any enemies they may encounter in the wild. Mongooses have been witnessed fighting with lions, storks, and other creatures capable of easily defeating them. They aren't a match for these massive beasts, yet they aren't scared of them. When it comes to hunting, the mongoose prefers big prey. If a mongoose comes across a sleeping python, he will not hesitate to attack it. The mongoose, on the other hand, does not always succeed in overwhelming a python. In certain situations, the hunter becomes the prey and the victim becomes the hunter. Typically, this only occurs when mongooses attack a snake that they have misjudged. The size of a group of mongooses hunting is highly likely that the python is nearing the end of its life. The gang surrounds the reptile on all sides and begins by biting its head and tail. After that, they all begin biting and pulling the animal apart. Because the python isn't a poisonous snake, you might assume that a bunch of mongooses would have an easy time killing it. However, the mongoose also kills the deadly king cobra, so how do they pull it off? The mongoose is thought to be resistant to cobra poison. However, this isn't fully accurate. It has some tolerance to the poison, but its rapid ninja maneuvers keep it from being bitten. It's also tough for the snake to gain a firm hold on it because of its thick coat. If the snake manages to bite the mongoose enough times, it can kill it with an overabundance of venom. When a mongoose is young and prone to making mistakes, a snake defeats it. The mongoose, on the other hand, has no choice but to consume the snake once it has been killed. Because the poison does not reach their bloodstreams, they can consume deadly snakes. Who'd have guessed that such a tiny creature could battle and beat such formidable foes? So as you can see, being the biggest person isn't necessarily required to win. That's all for today. I hope you liked the video. If you did, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel so that you never miss any amazing videos from us.